Hey, what's up, everybody? BDO 44 coming at you with another video. All right, so waking up this morning, feel okay. Not nearly as bad as I did 2 days ago when I had that little, uh, I guess you could say, bout with anxiety in the morning, fresh morning. I feel my issues, but it's more so like stuff like, okay, this hasn't been sold yet. The house still looks inhabitable. We got to be out of here next Thursday. Today is what? Wednesday, so that's a full 8 days. So it's like, all right, I gotta kind of clear this place out, but I don't really have the money for the storage. Still haven't talked to my uncle and grandfather, so I don't know what the budget is even now. So that's kind of nerve wracking. But honestly, that's not what's on my mind. I woke up on this morning with a therapy session on my mind, but not really about me. Kind of more like what we used to do, thinking about other people, other things, whatever topics. And I just look around. I saw Cardi B had won another one of her trials. I guess somebody had used her picture on their mixtape, and she got like $350,000 from the case. So I guess that's where my head goes when I turn on the camera. Not necessarily with myself. I got stuff going on, as you know, but you can watch all them therapy sessions that I did before, and probably many more that I'm gonna do next, where I'll get into how I handle these things and what have you. But what came to my heart this morning when I saw that post? I know Cardi B also got Tasha K. Tasha K said some things she should not have said in some ways she shouldn't have said it, and I've supported Cardi B for once and for all, making an example out of Tasha so that all of us bloggers understand there's a limit to what we should be able to do, especially when we're doing it, you know, and it may not be true. You know what I mean? And so I don't know if I ever mentioned this, but during that whole process, even though I didn't agree with Tasha K, I put her on my prayer list back then, and been praying for all the time ever since, as I always do everybody on that list. I remember watching Tasha K and her situation with Jaguar, right? I put Jaguar on the list too. I think I told you guys that. But that's when I realized Tasha K and what had happened in her life, that ultimately she overcame to get to where she's at and all of that. And I just felt like her energy wasn't good, but I thought it stemmed from a place of pain. But that's not what we're talking about, but I just kind of follow up. But Tasha K, I've been praying for ever since. Hopefully everything works out with her. I think her situation got some leniency in regards to Cardi B somehow. I don't know, but it really did drain her too. But I think it's one of those situations. What come to mind is this. I really like Cardi B. I never put her on my prayer list, but I'm a big fan of what she does. I've been a fan of hers since I was in college, way before she got famous, way before she fixed her teeth. I remember seeing her little stills where she would just get up there and talk about whatever was on her mind, raw as heck, and I used to get a crack up out of it. I thought she was extremely charismatic, extremely likable back then. I'm so happy that she was able to come up and make a way for herself, and see how her life panned forward is really an inspiration for people in situations like myself when we ain't got a whole lot and we're dealing with bad times and all of that. I remember when Cardi was doing what she had to do to make a way, and she was still out here in the public eye using the phone just like I'm doing right now, letting her light shine. I ain't forgot that at all, way before she got famous. So it's like I'm a fan of Cardi. I'm a fan of Cardi's energy. But what's on my heart today is the same type of teachings we've been talking about in regards to degrees of separation from things that we do. When you can't see what it is that you're also doing when you do certain things, even if you're due what it is that you're receiving, you got to be careful about how much you take or what it is that happens when you lash out at someone righteously, or definitely when you lash at somebody when it's not due. But when you lash out even when it is due, you got to understand that you could be doing something that hurts people that you don't intend to hurt, and they may cry out to God about what it is that you've done, and then God has to move things around to make things right for them, and it could blow back on you in some ways that you would never see. I think there needs to be some limit to how litigious we're willing to be with one another. I don't know where that begins. I don't know where that ends. I'm not the person to take advice from that. Cardi got the money. They have great lawyers, and they're doing a fantastic job making sure they win these cases. But it's on my heart to say, don't forget when you didn't have a lot, when you had to do things that were no good to get by. Some of them people didn't come back and get back at you in the ways that they could have to make it right. And if they did, you would not have had the future that you now, or the present that you now enjoy, with a beautiful family, husband doing well, all the money in the world, kids, all that. some grace was afforded to you during times when you may not have been in the right light trying to make a way. Nobody came back around, sued you for anything. You know what I mean? Nobody came back around, tried to toss you in jail for anything. Not to say that I know or don't know. Only she knows where she's been. We know what we heard about some of the things she had to go through. I ain't gonna bring it up right now. Trying to make a way. It's not my intention to try to remind people nothing like, no. All I'm saying is this. When you came out of the gutter and you rose to the top and people started doing things because they were in the gutter and on behalf of the fame that you garnered from the work that you put in and the favor that was afforded you, at some point in time, I'm not just talking to Cardi, I'm talking to everybody who makes it, whether you're famous or not. At some point in time, you understand that a lot of people are scraping the bottom of the bucket. They may do something they ain't got no business doing, and your forgiveness may not be something that they deserve, but the people that may be attached to them, the people that may have to suffer because of what it is that you're gonna have to pay, they're gonna have to pay you, all these different things. I don't think anybody's in the world telling us to be careful not to deserve worse for what we do in making things right for us on behalf of our very own selves. Like, that person took from me, I'm gonna take 100,000 million times more from them, and you're gonna be hurting some people in the process that don't deserve it. Not just the person you're going after. Remember, you're already there. You're already home. But nothing's guaranteed. Not a moment, not a day, not a second. None of it is guaranteed. So when we're enjoying our beautiful lives and we're getting back at everybody who ever harmed us, we got to understand that at any moment the God can change some things around and make us humble again, make us realize that it ain't necessarily on us to fight all of our battles, win all of our battles, and then hold a trophy over our heads. Because sometimes when you're doing that, there are other things in play that you cannot see, that you don't know is there, that if you were aware of, you would bestow some grace. I think it's time for us to not wait for those things to be seen in our eyes, for us to think about that grace that needs to be bestowed upon certain other people who may need some forgiveness, who may need to be spanked, but not stabbed. You know what I mean? There's a level to where you need to bestow grace based on how grace has been paid forward to you. So that's really what the wisdom is that's in my heart to say in regards to Cardi. Like I said, I'm a fan. You know what I mean? I really am. I said prayers before I turn on this camera, so it's not like I'm not in good spirits. You know what I mean? All of the energy I have for her and her family is positive, and that's why I come in the spirit of hoping to help her fathom a way to protect her energy from certain stuff that may come from being victorious when she does this. You know what I mean? It's just becoming a reputation for her to be very litigious and to win these cases. And every time she's taking for people who don't have a lot, and she came from somewhere where she didn't have a lot. And some of us remember when she didn't have a lot, and to see her get to a point where she's now getting back at people for grinding the bottom of the barrel when that's where she came from, it doesn't feel like she's aware of where that doesn't blow back well on her. It's like nobody taught her to say, yo, hey, no, nope, you got, even if you win the case, remember you're in a position that you got, like, when you win the case, that's the trophy. I'm not telling her to give money back. I'm just saying that sometimes not taking from people who don't have a lot will be the better choice in the end. That's what I'm saying. Not driving people into the ground because they said the wrong thing about you. Not driving people into bankruptcy because they just kind of use your image because they needed to get off the ground themselves and they were hoping they could, and they didn't really have the money to afford to pay you, or maybe just didn't have the decency in their mind to just get it right, so they need to be spanked. Okay, but once you take $350,000 from somebody who's probably only got $300,000, you understand that now you're doing something that maybe you don't have to do. You know what I'm saying? And if it's all about the money, you got to remember when you didn't have any, and the grace that came your way when you was trying to get it, and you didn't give a damn. You know what I'm saying? You was out there trying to get it, and there were some people who probably didn't deserve what they deserve, you know, and you made it happen, and the Lord still brought you to where you at. He still got you where you at. He still pulled you out of that, even though some dark days, he pulled you out of that. You know what I'm saying? And I just look around, I say she got the babies now. She got a little sister who's in the limelight doing well. You know what I'm saying? It's just at some point in time, and I know I receive her good energy. I know when she steps up and talks about, topics that affect poor people, speaking on women's rights situations, talking about politics. I pay attention to all that. I'm thinking about all that as I'm saying that. I just don't think we always think about the bad that can blow back on us when we sit back victorious, taken from people who've wronged us, who may not have anything. I think it's very, very. You walk a thin line morally. I'm with this. I'll tell you like this. If I'm in her position, depending on what, I'm with winning the case, giving it some time, and then later on, when I've forgiven them situations, coming back around, maybe donating to the cause or whatever, maybe trying to help somebody else in the name of that situation. You ain't got to give it back to the person who wronged you. I'm not saying, if that's not in your heart, I ain't asking you to do something that you ain't there for, you ain't gonna be happy doing. But I'm saying, like, you just gotta make it right on the back end. I don't know what it is, but I'm not saying stop suing people who wrong you, because you got your reasons for that too. But it just take this what I'm saying into account is what I would ask her to do. Just, you know what I'm saying? Because we've come from, but I'm saying in regards to her, we've come from some very, very humble spaces when it wasn't easy. Nothing was easy. And now sometimes you forget that some people are down there without the ability to dance on top of a beautiful tabletop countertop that you just bought for yourself. You know what I'm saying? I saw the countertop. She was dancing on it. It was gorgeous. Marble, black and white. I thought it was fantastic. You know what I mean? And so it's one of those situations where all of it was given to you. All of it can be taken away. We talk about the spirit of Job on this channel a lot. That's what my situation has brought me to think about is Job. How Job lost everything, got it back. And that's how easy it can happen. And I'm telling you, I don't ever want to see Cardi fall, her family, none of that. I ain't asking for that. I ain't even thinking about that. But what I'm saying is, if for some reason the Lord had in his plans to not make it so that she's on top someday, he's going to make her think about some of the times when she was on top, taken from people who didn't have anything because they may have wronged her, when she knows she may have wronged some people too on the way up. I don't know that I'm any better, because once you get to a point where you got all the money in the world and you came out of the gutter, and now you got great lawyers that can say, yo, we take care of that real quick. Okay, take care of it. You can get your take care of it real quick. Okay, take care of it. But you got to have some energy in your head to say, if I say take care of it, it's on my spirit, whatever happens when they do. And maybe my spirit don't care about that. Maybe I never had nobody tell me that. Maybe I never had nobody say that without attaching a collection plate to it or something. I don't know. But what I'm saying is the Lord put it in my heart to say that this morning. He put it in my heart to say that this morning because I pray for Tasha K. I literally do. Even though I wasn't on her side in regards to the situation, he put it in my heart to pray for her anyway. And I know she's going through hell trying to live through this process of trying to pay Cardi back. And maybe she deserved it, because the stuff she said, I'm telling y'all, I would have sued her too. But it's just like, all right, this is the aftermath. She's still going through it, Cardi. You're still dancing on the tabletop. Everything's well in your life. She's doing bad. She said what she said. You did what you did back in the past too. Look where we at. You know what I mean? Everybody's trying to build their way up. Sometimes you have to step on somebody to get where you're going. You better be, humble in regards to that if that's who you are. Because very easily you can have that karma come blow back on you and have you fall farther than you raised up to, farther than you got to up in the sky. I speak of trying to preserve what it is that we get, not only as it pertains to doing things correctly in the world, but also doing things correctly with our spirit and our heart. We want to give the best of ourselves to what it is that we're doing, not only as it pertains to our work and our acts and our creativity in life. I speak as an artist, but also in how we handle ourselves when we lay our head down at night and we feel like we did the right thing, and we felt like we gave ourselves the best effort or provided the best example in life. And I'm telling you, striking down everybody tenfold for what they do to you, that's God wrath. We're asking him to then display that wrath on us with that same measure. And I don't think that's what anybody's welcoming in this conversation. I don't think that's what Tasha was welcoming when she did whatever she did, trying to say what she said, and now look how it came back on her. That's the only one I can speak to. But we just got to understand, like, if you believe in God, and I believe Cardi has mentioned more than once that she has some faith, you got to understand that there's some things that come with that require you to just bestow upon others grace. Maybe not turn the other cheek and let them punch all on you. Negative. But bestowing some graces to say, I'm from the darkest place. I had to stomp on some stuff that wasn't necessarily righteous in doing so to get to where I'm going. I'm happy to be here. People did me wrong. I got the right to hit them. Grace is now something I could either bestow upon them or not. And with that comes a certain level of peace, knowing that when you bestow grace, it's not just leniency that you may be showing, but also the ability to not harm those who you can't see you may be harming with the things that you may be willing to do in response. So I just wanted to fathom that. Some people have kids, a family that didn't deserve to be attached to somebody who did you wrong. You understand what I'm saying? They didn't deserve to be attached to somebody who did you wrong. And now because that person made that bad decision, they money gone. The healthcare money they need is gone. The money that's going to put the kid through school is gone. It's going into your pocket now, Cardi. You know, you may not just be getting on the person who did that. And yes, this is their fault for allowing that to happen. But you're also in a position to bestow some grace, and that grace may go a long way, very long way. So I think that's going to be my message to Cardi B, man. Like I said, I come with peace. I'm a fan. I like what she do. And I always pray for every side of every situation if it's on my mind. Like, I'm the guy that prays for Dirk and Youngboy, you know, every morning. Like, that's just who I am. So I want people to understand that as I move forward. I apologize for not adding Cardi to the list, but I will from here on out. I'm going to start praying for her now since I address her in this camera. I will not let another one of those prayer lists go by without your family be a part of it. I will not. And like I said, I'm a fan of everything, you know, that y'all do, man. I'm a fan of Offset. I love that he's keeping Michael Jackson's spirit alive by dressing like him and stuff like that. I was hurt by Takeoff's passing, deeply hurt by that. I was just thinking yesterday, I wish Cardi's kids would have a chance to grow up knowing Takeoff. You know what I mean? So I got love, like real distant from afar. I don't know y'all, but I got love. It's just in my heart. And that's why I come here saying that I want Cardi to really consider giving leniency to people who may have wronged her going forward, or heal to a point where you can. If you haven't healed to a point where you can, get there, Cardi, because I guarantee you're going to feel so much better when you don't feel the need to bestow wrath upon people who harm you. You're going to feel better. Your life is going to get better, because you're going to realize that you have the right, but you didn't need to. It's a certain strength that comes with that, being able to bestow grace on people, because it's really easy to just revenge, get back at everybody who ever did anything. Maybe there's some things you're trying to make sure that others see in regards to who's around you, so they don't never try you. I get it. I can fathom that. If I sue this person, that person who's in my corner, who say they in my corner, they try me, they know they gonna get it. Okay, those type of posturings may be necessary in certain lives, but there's also a thing to say, yo, everybody's watching me continue to win these cases, taking from people who don't have anything. And at some point in time, some of your fans who don't have anything wonder if you would take for them too. If for some reason they may have made a mistake or may have wronged you, is it like, do I have no chance of it working out? Maybe I don't deserve it. Then again, I wouldn't wrong you, but that's not the point. It just gets to a point where people start wondering if you've forgotten what it feels like to really not have anything in the desperation necessary. Sometimes it'll make it so that you're on the wrong side of people, you know? So that's what I say from a situation I'm in. It's tough, man. It's tough. But I still know that even if I rise to the top, I want to get to a point where I'm strong enough to be able to forgive and sue, you know what I'm saying, if it comes to that, you know what I mean? But to understand what I'm doing when I do so. Understand who I may be taking from in the event something like that takes place. That's not limited to Cardi B. That's all of us when we sue anybody, but especially if you already rich. See, that's the thing. If you're down there too, and it's a different conversation, because you need the money just as bad as the next person does, and they wronging you. Different conversation. But when you're up in the air like Cardi is, 100 mil, whatever she got, then it's like, all right, you just taking now. You just a God on high, not bestowing no grace. And the God I know, who has everything, who can do everything, he bestow grace every day. So those of us who are like gods on earth in terms of money, should we not mimic that energy? Sometimes when it makes sense to do so. That's all I'm asking. I'm wondering. I don't have that wisdom because I don't have a whole lot. You know what I mean? And I can't speak to what it takes to get to where she's going and how much pride is attached to that. To say nobody gonna take from me all the stuff I've been through to get to this point. You ain't about to take from me. I get that too. I get that. But at the end of the day, it's like, how far does that need to go before you're satisfied? How far does that need to go before you realize, you know what? Yeah, that's enough. I'm good. Yeah, I taken that person's on the ground, but I don't need to like bury them. You know, there's levels. And I think depending on what levels we're willing to take, it will depend on how much grace we receive later on, or how much grace our kids receive later on, or how much grace our husband receive later on, whatever the case may be in her case, obviously. For me, it would be a wife for sure, but you get the point. We just don't want the bad that we receive to coerce us into the bad that we deserve. BDF 44, I thank you all for watching.